Ghost of Yōtei was meant to be a celebration of beauty, sorrow, and the spirit of the samurai. But instead, it became a battlefield of opinions. People didn't talk about the story, the world, or the emotion. They talked about the main character, Atsu. Some said she was boring, some said she looked too plain, and others even labeled the game woke. But behind all those criticisms lies something deeper, a misunderstanding of what this game truly represents. Since its release, Ghost of Yōtei has been one of the most talked about games among fans. As the spiritual successor to Ghost of Tsushima, expectations were sky high. The beautiful snowy setting of Hokkaido, the deep folklore, and the mysterious atmosphere made players excited to experience a new samurai story. However, what became the biggest topic of discussion wasn't the graphics, combat, or story, but rather the main character, Atsu. Many players criticized Atsu, saying she wasn't interesting enough, that her personality felt too flat, and that she lacked the emotional depth Jin Sakai had in Ghost of Tsushima. Jin's story was full of emotional transitions. He went from being a disciplined samurai who lived by honor to a symbol of rebellion known as the Ghost. His journey was full of conflict, guilt, and moral dilemmas. By comparison, Atsu is seen as too calm, too serious, and too straightforward. Her emotions rarely shift, and she doesn't seem to have a big defining moment that changes her character. Because of this, some players felt disconnected from her and said her story was hard to relate to. But that comparison isn't really fair. Atsu isn't supposed to be another Jin Sakai. Ghost of Yōtei tells a completely different kind of story. If Ghost of Tsushima was about honor and war, then Ghost of Yōtei is about sorrow and redemption. Atsu's world is colder, darker, and filled with tragedy. Her personality reflects that environment. She's quiet, haunted, and emotionally distant because of her painful past. The story doesn't try to show her strength through big speeches or dramatic changes. Instead, it shows her pain through silence, atmosphere, and emotion hidden beneath the surface. Some fans, however, took their criticism too far and began calling the game woke, simply because it features a female protagonist. They argued that the developers were trying too hard to push diversity or social agendas. But that idea doesn't hold up when you look deeper. The developers, Sucker Punch Productions, explained that they chose a woman as the main character because it fits the folklore of the story. Ghost of Yōtei draws heavily from Japanese legends about onryo, vengeful spirits that are often depicted as women. In that context, Atsu's gender isn't a political statement. It's a cultural and narrative choice that fits the world perfectly. Despite that, some corners of the internet still called the game too woke or trying to be politically correct. But honestly, those opinions say more about the critics than the game itself. The truth is, the label woke has lost much of its meaning. It's often used by angry fans whenever a game dares to do something different, especially when that difference involves women or diversity. In Atsu's case, she isn't some political symbol or agenda character. She's a tragic hero who reflects the spiritual pain and isolation of her world. Her quietness isn't weakness, it's depth. Her calm demeanor hides the heavy emotions she carries. In short, Atsu is disliked by some players not because she's badly written, but because she doesn't fit their expectations. Many wanted another Jin Sakai, another stoic male samurai fighting for honor. Instead, they got Atsu, a broken, haunted warrior fighting for her soul. Ghost of Yōtei isn't trying to repeat the past, it's trying to tell a different kind of story. And for those who are willing to see beyond the surface, Atsu isn't a woke character at all. She's one of the most human ones we've seen in a long time. Another common criticism that quickly spread online was about Atsu's appearance. Some players said she looked too ordinary, too plain, and not visually appealing enough to be the main character of a major game. There were even comments comparing her to characters from other titles, such as Eve from Stellar Blade, saying that Atsu lacked the same charm or sex appeal. But honestly, this kind of criticism feels completely unreasonable. How can anyone expect a character like Atsu, a warrior living in feudal Japan, to look like Eve, a futuristic fighter from a sci-fi world? The comparison itself doesn't make sense. Stellar Blade is built around a flashy, futuristic setting with stylized character designs meant to attract attention. Ghost of Yōtei, on the other hand, focuses on realism, atmosphere, and emotional storytelling. These two games aim for completely different tones and artistic goals. Atsu's design isn't meant to please the eye. It's meant to tell a story. Her simple appearance, tied-up hair, traditional clothes, and expressionless face all represent who she is and what she's been through. She's not trying to look beautiful, she's trying to survive. Her face carries exhaustion, loss, and quiet determination. Every scar, every shadow on her face tells a story about her suffering and endurance. If the developers had made Atsu look overly glamorous, with flawless skin, shiny armor, and a perfect body, it would have destroyed the historical tone and emotional weight of the game. Her realism is part of her authenticity. She feels like a real person from that era, not a fantasy figure built to attract attention. This kind of grounded design helps players emotionally connect with her struggle instead of being distracted by unrealistic beauty. Unfortunately, this also exposes a bigger problem in gaming culture. Many players still expect female characters to be visually attractive or sexy in order to be considered interesting. It shows how much the industry, and some fans, are still stuck in old habits of judging women by appearance rather than personality or depth. But a truly strong character doesn't need to show skin or strike seductive poses to be memorable. In the end, Ghost of Yōtei isn't about politics, gender, or appearance. It's about human struggle. Atsu isn't trying to be a hero. She's trying to survive in a world filled with pain, regret, and loss. She doesn't need to look perfect or act like a girl boss to prove her strength. Her silence, her sorrow, and her endurance are her strength. And maybe that's what makes her so misunderstood. Because real strength doesn't always shout, sometimes it whispers. Calling Ghost of Yōtei woke or judging Atsu for not being beautiful enough misses the point entirely. This game dares to show that not every warrior has to shine in the spotlight. Some heroes fight their battles quietly, carrying their scars instead of showing them off. Atsu represents that kind of beauty, the kind that isn't made to please the world, but to tell the truth about it. So before we call a game woke or say a character is boring, maybe we should take a moment to look deeper. Because sometimes what we call boring is actually real, and what we call woke is just human. Atsu may not fit everyone's idea of a perfect protagonist, but she doesn't need to. She stands as a reminder that even in silence, pain, and imperfection, there's still power, there's still meaning, and there's still beauty.